This moment has been a year and a half in the making. In the summer of 2024, I started this series with Cinder, and today, I finally get to see how it ends. I last left off reading Cress, the third book in the series. This book, you're following Cress, who is a girl from Luna, the civilization that lives on the moon, except she has spent the last chunk of her life living in a satellite that orbits Earth. I ended up rating this book a 4.5 stars. I've really been enjoying how the world and the cast of characters continues to expand as you get further and further into the series. Now, I am about halfway through Fairest, which is giving us some backstory on Queen Levana, the main antagonist of the series, before she became queen. When I picked this book up, I had no idea what I was in for. Hello? This book has made me feel all of the emotions, which I normally don't do when it comes to the antagonist of the story. Also, it's not even 300 pages long. It is emotionally gripping. I cannot wait to continue to turn the page of the book, even though it is stomach churning with how much this poor woman has gone through in her life. I mean, obviously that is an excuse, like trying to overthrow Earth and enslave everybody, but... Okay, so I finished Fairest, and wow, I was not expecting that whatsoever. I went into this thinking it was going to be a fun little backstory novella, like something light and fluffy in between books, and instead I got emotional devastation. This book is essentially Queen Levana's origin story. You're seeing how she grew up, her relationship with her family, how that has given her such a twisted view of the world, and getting inside of her head was honestly a little unsettling. Because on one hand, you see why she is the way that she is, but then on the other hand, it doesn't at all excuse the outrageous things that she does. It almost makes it worse. There were so many moments where I was like, this is actually heartbreaking. I actually took a couple of pictures of some quotes that really stuck out to me from this book. Okay, let's set the scene. Levana is talking to her sister and they do not get along at all. And she's trying to paint this picture of her life that she's happy and she's enjoying life and having a great time. And her sister says, lies, lies, though I can never tell whether you're lying to me or to yourself. Like, hello? Like, imagine trying so hard to continue to perpetuate this image of bliss and happiness that you are starting to not really be able to tell what's real and what's not. And other people can see it. That's devastating. This next one is kind of at the crux of the story, where Levana is kind of realizing that all of these lies, this fake life that she has kind of built up for herself, is maybe not as permanent as she was fine to believe. And we get this. Just one more lie she'd constructed for herself to escape into, never realizing she was welding the bars of her own cage. I can't. I genuinely had no idea what I was getting into when I picked this up. This did not feel like a light in between book at all. And now I feel like I understand the stakes of winter a lot more. I genuinely cannot believe that there are people out there who would have skipped this book because it's just a novella. It doesn't really matter that much. Wrong opinion. So yeah, that was a lot. I'm gonna take a minute to recover and then we're gonna dive straight into winter. So it's been months since you've seen me. It's been months since I read the Lunar Chronicles. Oops. Like, it's been so long that I legitimately had to start winter over because I couldn't remember what I had already read. This week I've just kind of been rereading what I'd already read. I think I've finally caught up to where I was. What I'm reading now doesn't sound as familiar as it did. I think I'm about a quarter of the way through the book. It's 4:30 on a Saturday. I'm gonna spend a good chunk of today just reading this book, and I'm so excited about it. I always struggle with what to say about later books in a series because I don't want to spoil things from the earlier books by trying to describe this book. So I'll just say this. Princess Winter is the stepdaughter of Queen Lavanna, the ruler of Luna, the civilization that lives on the moon. And one thing to know about the Lunar Chronicles series is that it is a fairy tale retelling series, and this book may or may not be a retelling of Snow White. So I'm now about 50% of the way through this book, and everyone has gotten themselves into a pickle that I'm genuinely not sure how they're gonna get out of. I'm like, guys, this is tough. What are you gonna do about it? Hi there. So on Monday I finished reading Winter, and I'm gonna be honest guys, I don't really know how to feel. I did not enjoy the book as much as I thought I was going to. I felt like the plot got a little bit rushed in some places. I was wanting more info, wanting more drama, and I just didn't get that in the book. So I don't know about that. It must be a me problem because I feel like I say that about most of the books that I read. I say, oh, there wasn't enough at the end for me. Well, now I gotta think about that. So maybe take it with a grain of salt when I say that. Maybe it doesn't actually mean anything because I say that about most of the books that I read, especially fantasy novels. I decided to give this a 4.25 stars. Not what I was wanting. I was hoping it would be a 5 stars because I think overall the Lunar Chronicles is a 5-star series for me. I'll have to go back and look. I'm not actually sure if I've rated any of the books a 5 stars. Maybe I have. Maybe I rated Cress a 5 stars. Anyways, now all that is left to read is Stars Above, which is a series of novellas in the Lunar Chronicles universe. I'm about 50 pages in. I've read the first story so far. I was like a little bit irritated because there were things that were alluded to that just like never came about. However, I'm wondering if this isn't just telling like one big story because the second novella picks up right where the first one left off, just following a different character. So maybe in another story, I'll get that conclusion that I was wanting because it's one of those things where you're wondering, hey, why did you put that in there if you're not gonna give it any sort of conclusion? That seems a bit silly and you might as well have just left it out. But no, you chose to put it in the story, so you must be planning on doing something with it. Or don't be offended that I as the reader am wanting you to do something with it because you felt that it was important enough to put it in the story. Hey dummy, I guess you've forgotten since it's been so long since you read the first book. The entire story basically hinges on that detail that you said was kind of pointless. So, but it's 7:15. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna read some more of this. Let's see how much I can read before 8 p.m. Okay, I'm now on page 107 of Stars Above. So far I've read The Keeper, which is about Michelle Benoist, Glitches, which is about Cinder, The Queen's Army, which is about Wolf, Carswell's Guide to Being Lucky, about Thorne Carswell, and I'm currently reading After Sunshine Passes By, which is about Cinder. I am really enjoying these little stories. They are all really just kind of setting up where the characters are when we're introduced to them throughout the series. They're not novellas that take place during the events of the other books in the series, but I'm liking getting more backstory on these characters. It's just making me fall even more in love with them. I'm having the best time. Guys, I'm so sad. I am officially done with the Lunar Chronicles series. Last year, I finished maybe 8 book series, and I think this is why. Because I get so sad finishing the series and then having nothing new to look forward to in these characters that I've grown to love and the stories that I have gotten so immersed in. So I just don't finish them so that I can convince myself that the story doesn't have to end. But I did finish Stars Above last night, and I really enjoyed it. I love getting to learn more about the characters and the events that led up to where they were when we met them. I especially loved the last story in this book because it was a true epilogue, and it was absolutely adorable. I gave this a 4 stars. Overall, the Lunar Chronicles series is a 5-star series for me. I love Marissa Meyer's writing, her storytelling, her world building, and how even though we have such a large cast of characters playing a huge role in the story, they all have such distinct voices. It just makes the story that much more immersive. You could flip to any random spot in the book and know who's on the page just by the language that they use to describe the world around them. I'm so sad to have to leave these characters behind, but best believe that at some point in my life I will be doing a reread, and I will never stop recommending these books to people because I just love them. But anyways, that is all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know that you enjoy this type of content. Comment down below the series that you were most sad to finish, and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content in the future. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!